the reason I picked up the phone was your guy that was adamant about his numbers and we shouldn't be on lockdown, and
yes.
You kept asking him for some sort of explanation.
What would happen next if we didn't do this?
Yeah. What would happen next? And for me, I'm not particularly political, or
sure.
I just try and be a good person and do right by everyone.
Oh.
But it would take is for you to just go back, people to go back a few years every winter and look and go to hospitals and see people in corridors, completely overrun. The NHS is completely overrun without COVID.
That's a great point, actually. I'm just going to defend myself and say I did warn Jonathan, who I think is the caller you're referring to, that we were very, very close to the news, which is not me making excuses for not having come up with the brilliant point you've just made myself. Honestly, Avril, I'm definitely not coming up with excuses for failing to spot this rather brilliant point that you've just explained to us.
It's just logic, really. We just haven't got the NHS has not got the capacity to be able to have these extra kind of, people that are going to be extremely ill. My daughter's had it, my son-in-law's had it, and they're young, in their 40s, and they were extremely poorly. Extremely poorly. This isn't the average flu that everyone thinks it is. So
it's a small number of people who think that, but they are dangerous and they are loud.
They are very dangerous. They are extremely dangerous because they are the people that will spread this.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
They kind of will spread it. So to everyone that I've seen, even on Twitter, on Instagram, that have been anti this, all I've just said is, actually, you know what? Go to intensive care. Go and visit intensive care, and then say that we haven't got a problem.
Well, this is. I wonder if that's part of it, because the NHS and the number of beds available for anything is I think in decline, or has been in decline for about 10 years. I'll double check that. But the footage that we've all seen of people on trolleys in corridors when there isn't a COVID-19 in the national bloodstream should be the only. You should be doing these press conferences, Avril. I don't know what you were nervous about. And now we go to Avril in St Albans, and Avril goes, next slide, please.
I think the problem that we've got is the economics. That they haven't quite got that right. And not that I'm a Conservative voter or anything like that, but what I would say is, listen, they're doing their best. They need to do better. Yes. We all know that. They absolutely need to do better. But, everyone's doing their best.
You see, this is where we might part company, because I think that the problem is they are doing their best. And if this is their best, it's time to give someone else a go.
No. Exactly. If that's the best that they can do, then, that obviously someone else needs to come in and do that. How they do that, I don't know. I haven't got the answer to that.
No.
But, of course, if you can't, I always say a mistake is the first time it's a mistake, the second time it's not.
Yeah.
And we've had too many mistakes.
Once is forgivable. What is it you say? What is it they say? Is it fool me once, more fool... Oh, I'll get this one wrong now, Avril. Shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mistake and the second time or something. I don't know. Yeah. I kind of instilled it in my kids. But it's tough times for everyone.
I know.
It's not the NHS that's getting it wrong. It's the government, and they need to kind of start doling out a bit more money.
You've made it vaguely political, but in a good sense.
Sorry.
No, in a good sense. I know why you issued those qualifications and caveats, but we can't really escape the question of who is responsible for the diminished capacity of the NHS and the diminished ability of the NHS to cope in a normal winter, because it's not, as you say, is it? It's not doctors and nurses that have cut beds or cut funding. It's the people currently in charge of dealing with the pandemic. And I like what you say about them doing their best, because, I am not a fan of Boris Johnson's. I don't know if you've ever picked up on that. But I do think that the lockdown, albeit that he's done it reluctantly and belatedly, is clearly the right thing to do. So you have to sort of park your personal animosity and get behind the policy. And the people who are opposing the policy, weirdly, in my profession, people who've greased Boris Johnson's passage into Downing Street and now suddenly deciding that he's not the Messiah after all, why would they not want us to trust the science? Why would they not want us to go into lockdown? Answer, it's not a master plan or a scheme or a big, secret project. They just don't know how else to behave. They're like children. I mean, they literally, unless they're trying to stoke up division and get fights going between you and me, they don't know what to do with themselves.
100%. And one other thing, I just think it's really sad that it takes a pandemic for people, to become so neighbourly and to become so community aware, and worrying about home.
I am going to come at you now. Yeah, we should be, but it's not really sad that we're doing it now. It's really good that we're doing it now. It's sad that we didn't do it sooner.
What I'm saying is,
I know what you're saying.
It's sad that it takes that. We get so wrapped up in our everyday lives and families, which is, I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's kind of like sometimes you just need to stop. We need to learn how to stop and see what's around us.
I agree with you completely.
And beauty as well.
Well, and kindness and decency and compassion and empathy, but unfortunately opposing, and we've taken us back to America now, being an enemy of all of those things has never been more popular in my lifetime. A lot of love for you coming in, Avril. Avril should be on Sage, says Mark. Are you busy? Are you busy later? Can you squeeze you in for a press conference? Get your slides ready.
I'm all right. I'll be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I look forward to your second call. I told you there was nothing to be nervous about.